Good morning all. Today's topic of discussion is application specific integrated circuits part 2. Objective of this lecture is to make the students familiarize with ASIC design flow before place and route using CAD tool. So let us look at the design flow before place and route. The three main inputs for the CAD tool need to be combined into a common database. So which are the three main inputs? Gate level netlist, standard cell library, and timing constraints. So these are the three main inputs for the CAD tool. So in these inputs of the CAD tool, a standard cell library that contains a group of transistor or interconnect structures that provide a Boolean logic function. For example, AND, OR, XOR, XNOR, inverters, or a storage functions like flip-flops or latch. The simplest cells are direct representations of the element like NAND, NOR, and XOR, Boolean function. And although the cells of much greater complexity are commonly used, for example, a 2-bit full adder or a mixed D-input flip-flop, the cell's Boolean logic function is called its logical view, and the functional behavior is captured in the form of a truth table or a Boolean algebra equation. Usually, the initial design of a standard cell is developed at the transistor level in the form of a transistor netlist or a schematic view. The netlist is a nodal description of transistor and their interconnections to each other, as well as the ports or terminals to the external environment. A schematic view may be generated with a number of different CAD or electronic design automation programs that provide the graphical user interface for this netlist generation process. The designers use the additional CAD program such as SPICE to simulate the electronic behavior of the netlist by declaring the input stimulus and then calculating the circuit's time constraint and the time domain response. The simulations verify whether the netlist implements the desired function and predict the other pertinent parameters such as power consumption or the signal propagation delay. Since the logical and netlist views are only useful for the abstract simulation and not the device fabrication, the physical representation of standard cell must be designed too. It is also called as the layout view, and this is the lowest level of design abstraction in the common design practice. From a manufacturing perspective, the standard cell's VLSI layout is the most important view as it is closest to the actual manufacturing blueprint of the standard cell. So this CAD tool receives the inputs from this standard cell library, timing constraints, and the gate level netlist, and now it is ready with all the inputs to prepare the next steps of design flow, that is the place and route. So design setup needs to be completed prior to the performing place and route operation. So this is the most important operation in the chip design. So before that, the CAD tool should be provided with all these inputs This environment or the database allows the CAD tool to use both the logical and physical information of the design. Physical information in the form of a layout. Logical information means the gate level netlist which is prepared, and the netlist is prepared by taking the inputs in the form of a VHDL code or a Verilog code. And the timing constraints are also provided. The timing constraints such as the setup time, hold time, then the different delay, propagation delay, wire or net delay. So all these things are provided to the CAD tool. The goal of this design setup is to prepare the design for floor planning. So before the floor planning, these are the steps and these are the inputs required for the CAD tool. So in this design setup, whatever just now we have seen, that is called as the design setup. That is before the actual placement and routing, the design setup is to be completed. And this design setup is having different steps. So step one by one we will go into the detailing of this design setup. So first we'll go for the step number 1, that is creating a design library. So on the left hand side we can see that there is one flow chart or the design flow graph which indicates the different 7 steps in the design setup. So the first step is creating a design library. So for this design library creation, we require the inputs as technology file, gate level netlist, timing constraints, and then the different reference libraries. So with the help of which the design library is created. Now this design library is it is a group of standard. Just now we have I have explained that it is a group of standard cells which are already designed and developed. The layouts are also readily available with the timing constraints and the different gate level netlist details. So that is the first step of creating the design library. So the user can have the ready-made readily available components which are designed from the different vendors, or they can design their own components and put into the library. So here the important input that is required is the technology file. So what this file contains, the layer and the wire definitions are available in this technology file. Then the process design rule. So minimum metal width, spacing, so the whole information. So before going for the actual floor plan and the routing, these are the inputs required for the tool, CAD tool. Then resistance and capacitance parasitic model. Then the unit, time, capacitance, distance. Then the GUI display information, that is the colors, the fill template for the layers. And this file is stored in the design library, that is the common database. So along with this time constraint file, this technology file is also one important input to the CAD tool. Now I'll go for the second step in the design setup, that is called as the attach reference libraries. So we have standard cells, we have macro cell, and we have pad cell. So the second step is attach reference libraries. So reference libraries contain cells used by many other designs, and they are referenced by pointers in the design library for memory efficiency. So some standard components are available as well as the macro cell, some big designs which are prepared by the user, those are also stored, as well as the pad cell means the IO blocks of the chip. The design for those IO pads or the pad cell is also available in this design library. I'll go for the step number 3, that is read the netlist. So netlist is as the name suggests, it is the list of the different nets, means the interconnections between the different nodes of the circuit. So netlist is generated from the logic synthesis stage and can be in several different formats. Verilog, VHDL, EDIF, that is the electronic design interchange format, and we can enter the design by these particular languages, and then we can obtain the netlist. Parsed for syntax errors and the other errors that may cause problems during the physical design. I'll go for the next step, that is step number 4, expand the netlist. So the design is generally in the hierarchical form, and in the netlist this is the expanded format, in which we can see in the top level design module, which are the different sub parts or sub blocks, those are also mentioned. The top level design module TOP contains the different sub blocks as A1, A2, A3, A4, C1, C2, C3 and RAM. So netlist must be flattened or expanded, and during this process the CAD tool verifies that an abstract view is available for each leaf cell, that is the reference library check. So this A1, A2, A3, these are the leaf cell, and whether they are having any reference library, that is checked over here in the expanded netlist. That is the step number 4. We'll go for the step number 5, that is create starting cell. So open design library and create the starting cell. So you can see in this design library ORCA, we have the different sub blocks, and then this ORCA is the starting cell. So Unix structure for the design library is used. The cell directory will contain starting cell, that is beginning point for place and route. And we have the graphical, that is CEL, that is netlist means NETL, and expanded means EXP files. Netlist, expanded, and then the graphical. So as discussed earlier, the library cell should have all this information, that is the interconnections means netlist, then the graphical means the actual physical layout of the cell, and expanded means the detailed view of the cell, and then how it is interconnected to different libraries. Now the next step is design setup, step number 6, that is bind netlist to cell. The logical and physical representations are merged into the starting cell. So we have given the inputs, different inputs to the CAD tool, and now the actual physical design and the logical thing related to that is is to be bind with each other, that for this particular cell this is the physical layout and this is the logic with which it will function. So that is called as bind netlist to cell. And there is one last step, that is step number 7, preserve the hierarchy. So after place and route, the design must be functionally verified. The goal of reusing existing test benches and the stimulus files. The CAD tool only operates on flat design. So by default, the output netlist will be flat. The test probe point on the sub-block boundaries may have been moved or removed, and the test bench cannot be reused. So what is the solution to this problem? Preserve the hierarchy. So CAD tool can maintain the ports and functions of the ports at the hierarchical boundaries of the sub-blocks, and it can then operate on flat design and reconstruct the hierarchy if needed. Thank you.